Pretend I'm a comic on like a one-off show somewhere, and I'm like the host, and I just like did some joke, and then I'm gonna bring the next comic, okay? So, and that's why I said, Mom, I thought you were done using tampons. That's my time, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Are you guys ready for more show? I can't hear you. Okay. Your next comedian comes to us all the way from the Mission. And he got here by a pretty unique mode of transportation. I'll let him tell you about that. Give it up for Avery, everybody.
Alrighty. My name is Avery Dauer, and my worst fear is a field sobriety test. Ironically, I'm also the best drunk driver in the world because, I mean, are they going to ask me to walk in a straight line? Like, come on.
What is up? It's your Orlando Show, episode 11. I got a great guest here. I got Avery Dauer. How you doing,
is
brother?
up?
The viral sensation on
thank
Adam
you.
Ray. How you doing, man?
Thanks.
Doing good?
I guess that's all I am now.
It's an identifying factor.
Yeah.
Stop. Don't beat yourself up. Stop. No, but so let the people know, I guess, what is the disability, I guess, you're beating the shit out of and battling?
Yeah. Well, I guess I'm sitting, so you can't really see it. But
I'm not going to make you stand on the pod. That'd be kind of
do a
fucked up.
spin.
Do a spin for me, damn it.
It's like a casting couch.
No, it's not. Stop. We're not here to do that. I'm not Harvey Weinstein. We're chilling.
No, I am a disabled comic. I have cerebral palsy, like every other white male disabled comic.
You guys are killing the game,
Yeah,
dude. Literally. You guys are disabling the game.
Yeah,
dude.
exactly. Yeah. But I don't know. I'm funny too.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Dude. No, but so we'll preface, I guess we'll do the round. So Avery was let up during Adam Ray. Shout out Adam Ray.
Yeah, he
guy.
came to the Punchline in San Francisco. I had just dropped out of college, moved back home, was not doing too hot, obviously, so I was like, okay, I'll drop some money. I'll get myself a ticket to go see Adam Ray. And he thankfully said the word wheelchair on stage.
And you were, woo!
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, from there, blacked out. So basically, he got up on stage after Adam said a wheelchair joke. Adam loved that he, was disabled, but also wanted to do comedy. And fucking Avery did his first set ever with Adam letting him on stage at the Punchline, which is, let me preface this, people. I would shit my pants if my first time doing stand-up was at the fucking Punchline. I would have thrown up. I would have thrown up on my shirt. I would have completely just.
I mean, I was shaking in my boots all the way up there, but it's a credit to Adam Ray and the way he does things and the way he conducts himself and the way he interacts with others. I've never felt a calm like that. I turned around and you can kind of see me. He does a little intro for me in the video, and you can kind of see me doing this and trying to remember.
Am I having a heart attack currently? Fuck.
I wrote these jokes 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And I haven't thought about them.
And here we are.
And somehow
it's time.
He does it and just calm.
Yeah.
So I think as much as I do credit myself for my writing and my confidence and stuff, very much it is a credit to Adam Ray and the way he approaches comedy and new comics. Because I've also heard I'm not the first person that he's done this for.
Right, yeah.
AJ Wilkerson.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
The autistic guy with ADHD that shakes a lot. He literally same situation. I think it was the Comedy Store.
And he let him on stage.
We used to have a very similar joke, and so some people kept
being like, you stole his shit, and it's no, just like-minded material, literally like-minded
material. Yeah. And so he ended up responding, and we cleared it up. But
we hashed it out.
Yeah, we hashed it out.
You guys had a disabled fight.
He was like, this is Adam's thing. He loves creating comedy for others. And honestly, I told him this. when I went to see him again in San Jose.
Yeah.
Like, this has fully changed my life. Like, people say that with, like, Cam Patterson. He got up once, and now he's a global superstar.
Yeah, now he's a known stand-up, which is crazy. He likes rocks.
Yeah, he likes rocks.
He fucking loves rocks.
On a micro level, for me, like,
yeah.
I didn't really have a thing that I was, because I did theater school, but I'm not gonna. I was a musical theater student, and I'm not gonna dance for you. That's just not gonna happen.
Not gonna do a little jig, a little Irish jig for us.
No pot
Shout
of
out Notre
rage,
Dame for making me fucking depressed, you motherfucker. Son of a bitch.
So I wasn't going to college for theater stuff, and I had just dropped out of film school for a myriad of reasons, and this has really given me a thing to look towards. And I mean, I think it's similar with you, maybe, in why it gives you.
It's fun.
Gives you an objective.
You feel like you get better at it too. We actually did just do a show at the Function together, which is how we kind of met and had conversations. And it was really. I love comedy because it's one of those only art forms, like we were saying earlier, like. People look out for other people. Like, it is one of the only art forms where you could reach out to a comedian that's really big and they could fucking respond.
Yeah.
Like, it's a community that's kind of built on people helping out other people. And it's if you're nice and if you're cool and you can network and shit,
but
too.
Even just on principle, I've learned this as I've started, trying to build a social media presence
totally.
and meet people. Because, everyone's talking about deleting Instagram, and I would actually love to be able to delete Instagram. That's where my entire livelihood is.
Same. I'm building that shit at the same time.
in building that, you reach out to these comedians, and they follow you back.
It's really cool.
Sal Vulcano decided that I deserved his follow.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. Sal's the fucking man.
And
love Sal.
It's full circle because 6 months prior I was depressed and in college, and who was the touring comic that came through our school on the New York college circuit? Sal Vulcano.
Oh, so interesting.
It's always gonna come back, and professional comics, I think, more than any other industry, like you were saying.
Totally.
Are interested in not only kind of gatekeeping and making sure the art form stays pure, but also
like helping
introducing new people and because comedy is all about no one has a perspective like you do.
Yeah.
Like, no one has my perspective of, playing sports, theater, living in San Francisco, and being disabled and have everyone stare at me all the time. And no one has your perspective of, college football,
playing football and being a retard, and
Catholic
all that
school,
yeah, exactly. Well, I have a similar story because I reached out to Shane Gillis during college playing football. Similar thing, like he followed me after I followed him. This was like 2016, and I was just like, dude, I'm a huge fan. Like, I'm thinking about maybe doing stand up when I'm done with football. Like, what's your advice? And his first thing was like, don't, LOL. He was like, don't. It sucks. But then he was like, nah, like. Go with what you think is funny. Like, don't think about the crowd. Don't be like, oh, does the crowd think this is funny? Like, no, trust your comedic shit.
It's also funny that Shane Gillis said that, because now who is every single comic trying to be?
Yeah. I'm guilty of that. I'm not going to lie to you.
I
guilty as shit of that.
You can see me, if you watch my sets, you come to a show, you'll see me do this.
Oh yeah,
and then catch myself and chicken wing for the whole set.
See, I do that with the ice cream cone. I do the ice cream cone hold, and I'm always like, "Fuck, I'm biting their shit." I'm biting like him and Rogan. Like, fuck. I'm not. I don't do the lean. I'm very fortunate that I don't do the. Every punchline, you're like this. That's the Shane Gillis fucking. That's so funny. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's funny that he said something like that, because it's really like. No one thought that was funny when he started doing comedy.
He was bombing at open mics just like the rest of us. You know what I mean?
Everybody bombs at open mics, but even just like out of principle of having 40% of your bit be the look on your face.
Yeah, right. Like, that's hard to do.
It's so hard.
Yeah, you have to get good at comedy to do shit like that. You can't just try. You're gonna bomb your face.
And I run into that bit thing because I really like one-liner comedy. That's the stuff I listen to, but it's not really the stuff I do.
See, same. Yeah. Norman's one of my favorite. I love Mark Norman. I wish I could be.
Congratulations
that kind of
on your newest child. You just had your first child.
And thank you for doing a set at the Function too. Childbirth. That was fucking sick, dude.
Oh yeah, I was there.
Was fucking. Oh, were you?
Yeah,
dude. I was kicking myself I didn't go that night. That was fucking awesome. But so we'll get into some comedy kind of inside baseball. So who are some comedians you kind of looked up to growing up that you thought were like hilarious?
So I've said this before, but I was a Pandora comedy listener.
Oh yeah,
so,
okay.
You know, Jim Gaffigan was the
great joke writer, one of the best.
Was the GOAT for me for the longest time. I was a big Jeff Dunham fan when I was a kid.
The dead terrorist.
Which whether that is a positive or not is something to be.
I'll tell you one thing: it takes nuts to have those fucking dumbass like.
Well, it was also 2007.
Yeah. Do you think all the other comics were so mad at him?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you motherfucker! You just go up there with voices and fucking
comic.
puppets.
Yeah.
God damn it!
He's like Carrot Top, but
I'm over here saying my N-word material. And you're out there with a fucking puppet. Like, God damn, is that a dead terrorist puppet? What the fuck? Yeah.
That's
funny.
People like Jeff Dunham. I mean, everybody of my kind of relative generation was a John Mulaney fan.
Oh yeah, Mulaney solid. Loved Louis growing up. Louis one of my favorites.
I don't think I've ever listened to
really
CK stand-up, which is kind of a crime. But I did grow up in San Francisco, and that was kind of frowned upon.
See, I don't give a fuck. I grew up here too and don't really give a fuck. That's how it is. But
I went to art school.
I played football. Exactly.
There we go.
The polar opposites. There we go.
But yeah, and I just think that comics like that, and as I've gotten older, it's the drier comics, the Mitch Hedbergs, the Stephen Wrights,
good writing.
Like that. And then on the opposite side of the spectrum. The Casey Rockets, the bombastic,
their own style.
No one thinks like that.
No one's coming up with that material.
No one thinks like Mitch Hedberg, and in a very similar way, nobody thinks like Casey Rocket.
No one does stand up like Casey Rocket.
And you have to be born like that.
Yeah,
you have.
It's not an act. You're right.
Yeah,
and that's a great way to look at it.
Jealous.
Holy shit, that's a great way to look at that.
Yeah, I'm so jealous. Like, you'll see me kind of like, even with the field sobriety test joke, if you listen to it and then you imagine if like Mitch Hedberg had a disability and it's just like my biggest, it's really flat.
Deadpan.
I don't deliver it that way because I'm incapable of staying calm. But
same.
But like
get
that's
excited.
all in the spirit of which my comedy is meant.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I really have an appreciation for both sides of that.
That's awesome. I respect that. I mean, I honestly I have no idea what I'm doing comedy wise. I'm just doing it type shit.
I mean, I'm 6 months in. You're like
a year, not even a consistent year. So just trying.
Yeah,
it's getting there. But so in your travels, what city was the least accepting handicap wise? Like, what city just had no stairs or stairs everywhere, just no fucking ramps? I mean, in the city, I'm sure you could run into that with the older buildings.
I mean, the only place where it's ever really been like a problem where I'm like, holy fucking shit, is New York.
Yeah,
because I was in college on Long Island,
right? Okay,
for a year, and that meant if you wanted to do anything,
you had to go somewhere. Yeah,
you had to go 45 minutes on the train and then walk. 15, 20 blocks. And I actually don't mind because I'm in my chair.
Right.
I don't mind.
But still, that's
rolling.
A big hassle.
But the issue is only about 30% of the subway stations in New York have elevators.
Are you fucking kidding?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucked.
At that
that's
point,
super screwed, man.
It's easier for me to walk those 20. I just take pictures and walk along.
It's
New York. You don't really care.
Yeah,
once you get into kind of a routine.
Right.
But it is like, coming from a place like the Bay Area where we're actually the foundation of like the disability rights movement.
Yeah, totally.
That's all in Berkeley and Oakland.
Yeah, so everything better be fucking handicap accessible.
So I come from a place where it's like
everything is made.
I'm lucky.
You're right.
Yeah,
everything's retrofitted.
We're in a bubble for a reason. But you go kind of anywhere out east, and especially in the wintertime when it gets cold, that's kind of...
that's wild. Yeah. I couldn't imagine.
That was a big part of me not coming back here, and I'm glad I did because none of this ever would have happened. But,
or who knows? You could have maybe hit an open mic in like New York, but the whole Adam Ray thing.
I had been a stand-up fan forever.
Had you ever thought about doing it before that Adam Ray thing?
Yeah, it was like it was like a. If one day I could have the confidence to do that
right
kind of thing. I think it is for most people.
Yeah, that's literally,
but there was no way that I was doing an open mic in New York.
Oh, that's like the scariest, other than LA,
and
the fucking scariest place to do an open mic.
It's scarier than LA.
Yeah,
I would be
yeah.
willing to do an open mic in New York, even now.
Yeah.
I think I have some pretty good material.
Right.
I would not be willing to go do an open mic in New York
unless
I was like, hey, come to this.
Yeah.
Come to this show. Right? And I think comics who do start in New York have a distinct advantage. I think comedy cities, what I've noticed is they each have their distinct advantages to starting there. Like I think here in the Bay Area, our distinct advantage is our crowds, until you go to, Sacramento,
right,
are not going to laugh at you
unless
saying, just like going up there and going retard.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, San Francisco's not with that.
Or they're not going to go laugh, or they don't think they can laugh at you going up there and just doing straight race material that you don't put effort into.
Exactly.
If you put effort into a compare and contrast there, and it's actually funny,
but they're not going to laugh at the notion.
Exactly.
And they're not going to give it to you.
Whether that is right or not,
who knows? But that's the nature of the
There
beast.
are good jokes that rely on those stereotypes.
Totally.
But it does make Bay Area comics have to work harder and therefore build the muscle.
Yeah, totally.
Be better writers. And so I think, like, I do roast battle stuff.
Yeah.
So
I've seen that.
A lot of
check them out on Roast Battle.
Check out Roast Battle, March 1st and 2nd. Roast Fest.
I'm way too pussy to do that.
Don't be. It's awesome. You hug after.
Avery, you were telling me earlier that you played a little wheelchair basketball back in the day.
Yeah, for 14 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And then you were saying that you kind of went through the recruiting process.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
So I asked a little bit about, his college and
getting recruited for football out of high school and stuff like that. Yeah.
I played wheelchair basketball for 14 years with the Bay Area Outreach and Recreation Program, which is in Berkeley. It's like it's sports and lifestyle opportunities for kids with disabilities.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome. That's hell yeah.
And I started when I was 6 years old. I kind of chose between music and sports.
Yeah,
and I wanted to be cool.
Hell yeah.
Which was a constant theme. Then I did all the other theater stuff. But I didn't really have a good relationship with it. It was just something I always did.
Okay, yeah, totally.
And I wasn't, to be clear, like I wasn't good, right?
I'm sure. Everyone's trying out there.
I mean, yeah.
It's putting their best foot forward.
It's adaptive.
Oh, literally.
Sports.
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
Well, some of us.
Some who were
some
able
of us
to. Some
do
who
not.
were able to, yeah.
But, it was something I'd done my whole life, and I'd worked really hard to get to a spot where I could just at least be out there on the floor with the rest of them.
You ever see any fights while you were like playing? Any dudes get into it and wheelchair basketball?
Because our junior divisions are they're, for a lack of a better term, they're very Christian. Because, because
in the name of the Lord, fucking slapping
exactly,
each other in the wheelchairs.
Because all of the kids are blessings.
Yes, they are. No comment. Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
But and also it's very centered in the South. And the East Coast. Like there's only one team in Northern California. And
oh, interesting.
There used to be a Fresno team. They've got and there used to be a Sacramento team. Sacramento has adult programs, but just not for youth.
Okay.
So it's all in like Alabama, Georgia, North Carolina,
interesting.
New York.
Oh, that's cool.
Because that's where all the big children's hospitals are.
Yeah, okay.
So when a kid gets injured and they move him to a hospital, then the family moves to that city. So they can be closer. A lot of the time.
Right.
So they can be closer to the good, like Mayo Clinic or something.
Yeah. Wow.
So I
never
played.
Thought of that.
Yeah. So we didn't really have as much resource and opportunity for competition like the East Coast did. But I played for a very long time. I met some of my best friends through that. And I learned a lot about kind of like who I wanted to be and what I wanted to do.
That's awesome. I mean,
or what I didn't want to do or who I didn't want to be. But I had two of my best friends both got recruited to the University of Arizona.
Wow, that's awesome, man. Go Wildcats.
Bear down, baby. So there's, I think it's 14 collegiate teams. They're not in the NCAA. They're governed by, they're technically club sport. I think they're technically club sports.
Okay,
but they're governed by the.
But still, they could bring kids on campus to play. That's fucking awesome that they give that opportunity.
The NWBA governs it, the National Wheelchair Basketball Association. We're the reason why the WNBA is called the WNBA. We were there first. There was basketball in this country for disabled people before there was basketball for women.
Wheelchair basketball's been here longer, baby. It's like apple pies in America.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Disabled people were playing basketball before women.
Yeah.
That's fucking.
They didn't need it.
They were like, women. Let the guys in wheelchairs play first.
But
comedy podcast. We're joking around, of course.
There is so there's 14 teams. I can never remember all of them off the top of my head, but I'm gonna try. It's Auburn, Arizona, Illinois, Alabama.
That's a big, wide ranging of schools.
The city college system of New York City.
Oh wow!
Has a team in the league. Eastern Washington University.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I've played against teams that played against Eastern Washington.
And then Eastern Wash and Whitewater, Wisconsin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've heard of that school. Oh, that's interesting. I mean, that's awesome that they have like those kind of opportunities.
And I think that's it.
Is there a certain school that was always like the best at like wheelchair basketball? They got all their football players in wheelchairs?
No, they got all the football money that they have nowhere to put. So they just have money to give away.
Oh, yeah.
And there's no real scholarship requirements or rules for disabled sports, even though there's regulations for recruitment.
Right.
So you can give as much money as you want.
Really?
Or I mean,
as much as they're willing to give
as
out.
many scholarships
as
you want.
Oh,
so
that's interesting.
Alabama kind of, as in football, just kind of
dominate wheelchair basketball.
Yeah, they just get every number one recruit every year. And Arizona,
the number one wheelchair basketball recruit. That's fucking sick.
Yeah,
that's
Arizona.
Awesome. I never thought
is
of
that. It's a newer program,
right?
Because the way it works is you have to. There's club like I'm gonna explain the league structure of NWBA for a second.
Oh, good. Better than the WNBA.
Yeah. Kind of.
More entertaining. Better watch.
I don't know. At least they can dunk.
1 out of every 40.
Well, that's better statistics than we have.
No, but seeing one of you guys would be fucking nuts. Out of the wheelchair, banging out.
Well, there have been a couple scandals of like them playing people that like had a bone marrow disease. But they played offensive line on their high school's football team.
Yeah.
And so they would get out of their chairs and do dunk contests at halftime.
Brother, you're not.
Yeah.
I don't think you're supposed to be in this league.
That's not for you.
This league's for people that.
So now there's rules where if you can participate at the same level at your high school program, you're not.
Yeah.
You're not disabled enough to play.
That's fair enough.
But anyway, so there's youth divisions for us, and then which is co-ed.
Yeah.
And then there is Division 3, which is purely recreational competition.
D3,
Division 2, not college, but just like
just the divisions.
Club.
Okay, interesting.
Division 2, which is a little bit more competitive, and then Division 1, which is the highest kind of club competition. That's where like you'll see a bunch of the. Well, actually, they're all overseas now because in other countries you can get paid to play wheelchair basketball.
Oh no way! So you can play professional.
Yeah,
that's cool.
You can play professionally, but it's in Germany and Italy and Israel and Turkey and a bunch of other places.
That's still interesting. I did not know that. So that's actually really cool. Yeah.
But that used to be where you'd see a lot of those players, especially like Canadian American ones, play in the off season.
Yeah.
In their off season. And then there is the collegiate divisions, which covered collegiate play and collegiate women's division, and then there's the international, which is governed by a different organization.
Okay.
But so there's a great structure for competition in the United States.
That's awesome.
I would just say that like it assumes a ceiling for itself.
Well, of course,
right?
Yeah, that's most things. Yeah,
most things. But in other countries, like in Europe, there's somewhere to go to make a life. If that's because
if you want to
that
do
was
that,
never my only passion. That
Right.
was never my only skill. But I know people that like.
Yeah,
that's what they do.
Yeah, 100%.
And in the United States, the highest goal you can achieve is Team USA.
Yeah, totally.
And so, which is wonderful. And I have many friends who are in the selection process and have been on the team.
Oh wow, it is kind of like the Olympics, where like you
it is. You go to the
is.
Paralympics.
Oh, yeah. You go
to the Paralympics,
dude. That's awesome.
And now the Paralympic and Olympic committees are the same thing.
Oh, cool.
They've consolidated, so now they get like Olympians get a title after their name, like you know how like the letters that people put after their name.
Yeah.
So now if you're a Paralympian, you're PLY.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Fuck yeah.
So, yeah.
That's awesome that sport like gave you an outlet from a young age.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's really cool.
And it's in my view, it's I mean this is corny as hell, but it's not as much about the basketball as there's a bunch of disabled kids that either they don't think they can do anything.
Yeah.
No matter how many inspirational videos you put out on Instagram, they still feel like shit.
How many black and white videos that are like, you could get up today. Yeah.
Watch this guy stand up from a chair. God is real.
Yeah. Sold.
But yeah, it is a way to show yourself that you can have independence, and that is
totally
kind of the most important thing that I learned from it. But I was recruited by the University of Arizona, and I just realized 3 weeks before moving that I was recruited to be a locker room guy.
Yeah,
I was recruited.
Positive.
I wasn't going
vibes,
to play for my first 2 years, probably.
Same. That's what they told me.
Yeah.
You know, for football,
and there's no
thing.
red shirt for us.
So you're 4 years,
and it wasn't even like a full ride. Like there were people that got full rides.
Interesting,
but they had like 2 full rides a program. Like
okay.
And you need 5 people in a starting 5, and then a bench.
Right.
So, you know. I would have had to get up at 5 in the morning and lift weights every day for a thing that I knew I had a ceiling at.
Oh, that's
right.
Interesting.
I was so aware. I mean, now I've lost a bunch of weight and I'm super skinny and my back is all messed up, so I don't really play anymore. But if I was built like this and started playing now, I think I would have taken to it much easier. But it was just a lot of weight to haul around on the court because it's you and then about 20 pounds of wheelchair.
Oh, and then you're trying to go fast, and
even
that's
that's a light wheelchair because they're all made out of they're special wheelchairs.
For the basketball. Oh, they're lighter.
They're expensive, and you get grants. Robin Williams, when he died, actually paid for my wheelchair.
Oh, from the grants and stuff.
Something good came out of that.
Shout out the boy. Shout out Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah.
That's interesting, man.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll go into the comedy side. Who is your, like, I guess, Mount Rushmore of comedy? Like your 4 or 5 comics that you think of when you think of comedy, I guess we could say.
Jim Gaffigan's got to be up there for me, like I said earlier. Gabriel Iglesias.
Yeah, do love Early Fluffy, one of my favorites.
Fluffy.
As a fat little Mexican kid, fucking genius. Genius material.
I don't know why, it just speaks to me.
It's so funny. Yeah, it's beautifully funny.
But, and I think, like I said this earlier, but Mitch Hedberg is just, no one thinks like that. Like, no one.
It's the joke writing, like
has
black
that
belt
kind of
level.
perspective.
Yeah, it's.
And then, honestly, I don't really consume a lot of his non-podcast content per se, but when you were talking about that Mark Norman show at the Function earlier, that was the first time because I was in the audience, I sat down in the audience and I was like, I'm gonna watch this.
Yeah, hell yeah,
yeah, and it was the first time I'd seen an audience just spellbound. Like, they were a San Francisco audience.
Yeah.
He was doing jokes about black women and trans people.
And they were
they were losing their minds.
One of the only times you'll see that in San Francisco too.
And that's not a judgment call on the material or the audience.
No, he's good at what he does. 100%.
And I mean, I'm a guy who brings a card up on stage.
I do
and
too.
He had
I do that shit too.
He wrapped his card around the mic like this.
Yeah, I've heard
and then
that.
unrolled it so he could see and rolled it back up. I
That
don't have the
genius.
dexterity really to do that. Like I'm already freaking out on stage enough. But
Me too. Fuck.
like just to see that there are skills that you can learn to help yourself.
Yeah.
Like now I just kind of, people think I'm recording my set when I put my phone down on the stool. I got a notes app open.
Yeah.
Like
for real.
And it's just, I think I've gotten pretty good at the looks to the side and making them look natural.
Yeah,
and
totally.
not having to, because when I first did, I would have to do a take to the audience and be like, okay, give me a second. I gotta look. At my
One
notes.
moment.
Yeah.
One delay.
And I'd have jokes around it, and I think everyone does. But it's nice to know that if you keep doing this, everyone would say like as with anything.
Yeah.
If you keep doing it, you're gonna get better.
But stand-up is one of those things.
I think there's something special about a certain kind of person and stand-up that if you love stand-up.
Yeah.
Stand-up will love you back. And I think I am a perfect example of that because I've
true.
been listening to stand-up my whole life and was
Same,
too scared to try and I was never going to try stand-up unless he pulled me up on that stage.
Well, some things happen in the ways they have to happen, And then that gave you the confidence to kind of go from there and do sets and
gain confidence in yourself if you're trying to do comedy. Like because it's not about I played team sports.
Yeah.
And
same.
I was always terrified of letting what held me back the most wasn't that I was a little bit heavier than I should have been or I didn't practice enough or I just wasn't built for it. It was mostly that I was so paralyzed by letting everyone around me down, and that's a kind of function of the culture I was in, but that it would just paralyze me and I would not be able to execute the thing that I had practiced a million
and you're trying
times.
And you want to do well, but you want to do so well that it kind of like gets in the way.
People used to tell me, go play tennis. You would be so, like physically you would be great at tennis. And what I didn't realize they were telling me was you don't need all this extra stuff. You're good at working for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And so stand-up is a thing for me where the only person I have to blame if I bomb
is
myself, and I can fix me.
Yeah.
I can't fix other people.
Yeah.
Fixing other people is impossible, but I can do something about what happened up there.
Well, it's external internal factors.
And as long as you don't think, oh, I'm never going to have a good set again, and you keep coming back, and after like 3 bad sets, you realize I just got to come back next time.
Yeah, just keep, I feel like stand-up's one of those things, and this is, again, like an Instagram quote, but, you cannot cheat the grind of it. You have to go to those small open mics where you're going to rethink your entire life and reevaluate why the fuck you started doing this, and 6 comics are going to sit there and hate you. But
I will say, there's someone typing in the comments right now that either goes to open mics with me or is an internet troll, you're cheating the grind. Because I will admit that I go to one consistent open mic. I'm not one of those dudes that, there are people that I just respect so much because they get in their car right when they got off work, and they go to open mics until 3 a.m.
Yeah,
they hit 12 mics a night.
Right.
And for me, personally, that would make my material stale. That's not the case for everybody else.
Well,
but also, I have a very good and consistent opportunity at the function that I can go, and there's mics every night. It's the only club. I'm doing a promo right now.
Shout out the fucking boy. We've both done shows there. Why wouldn't we? Yeah.
In the Bay where you can get up every night. And there's no places, there's problems everywhere. But
But even with the grind, you can still go as much as you want and suck.
Exactly.
You know, like that doesn't
We
mean
see it every day.
Yeah, we see it every open mic. There's the same. Yeah, but like you can't. That doesn't mean you're funny if you just go every night. Like like you said, it's a good mix of things. The right personality mixed with stand up. And it's a marathon, dude. Like you don't want to burn yourself out going every night.
And I did.
Right. Exactly.
Like I was at a point, because I also right now don't have a lot of social life in the Bay because all my high school friends are in college and I've dropped out. Right. So my social life is comedy. I was going 5 nights a week.
See, that's a lot. Yeah.
To be able to see other people and be social.
Right.
I burned myself out and was in bed for 2 weeks.
Yeah. See, like it's detrimental in the long run. Yeah.
And also, I mean, the cult, like, what do you do after your set? Nothing good. You know what I mean?
Drugs or drinking, quite literally.
Drugs, drinking, or women. Like, everyone has one of them, right? So, you have to love it enough, I think, to know that it's got to be there to come back to. Like, you have to preserve it, and that's just a personal health thing. But I think... Yeah.
Well, I get an itch. If I don't do stand-up for like a week or two, I do get a like, okay, I need to do it.
I don't get an itch. I get cranky. Like I
need to get on stage.
No, I was getting ready for an open mic, and then they put on Bacon. It was canceled.
Oh,
and I had no idea what I was gonna do.
Oh, so you were like, fuck yeah. You wanted
no
that event
plans.
to do, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's why open mics are cool, because you see, especially in the Bay, you see similar people at every open mic. You can see the same people and say what's up to them, kind of thing.
Everyone, at least not everyone told me, but my conception of comedy as an industry, and I think a lot of it comes from the East Coast, is that it's not welcoming.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this earlier, but like, it is, and especially, I think, in the Bay Area, because we have so much comedy history here.
Yeah, we do.
And because we're a libtard sanctuary city, no one
thinks of San Francisco, as
the computer went to sleep.
No,
oh, is it fine?
Yeah,
it keeps going.
No, we're good. I can edit that.
We'll cut that out. We'll be right back.
Maybe we won't. I'm my own editor.
We'll be right back.
Yeah, whatever.
But... what were we talking about? Everyone thinks because San Francisco is what it is that we don't laugh here, and I think there is some merit to that. But Robin fucking Williams is from here. Like Dave Chappelle would not be Dave Chappelle if not for the years he spent here.
Totally, yeah. There are comics that like coming here.
Classic comic had to cut his teeth here.
True. And I've noticed even with Adam Ray was saying this, like...
oh, he loves this place.
Yeah, they love coming here because it is where they probably had to cut their teeth when they were younger.
Adam Ray, his first hour-long special... 5 o'clock shadow Adam Ray...
early...
little Adam Ray... is at the Punchline.
Yeah.
On the same stage
so
where he pulled me up.
Yeah.
Right?
That's so trippy.
And so... San Francisco, I mean, every comic is going to tell you this that's from here. It doesn't get the respect it deserves.
Yeah.
But also, it just confounded me how nice people in this community are. And someone's going to say, every time I say that, be like, well, you haven't met so-and-so yet. And there's always going to be beef. But just as far as being open arms and welcoming and having... new and different people around, and like I have never seen a shivering little first open micer come up to somebody and say, I'm here to sign up for the open mic, and have them not go, awesome, holy shit.
No, that's so true.
The list is
so
up there.
True,
and I think that is a uniquely Bay Area.
In a lot of other cities, it's not
you
at
go to
all
Austin,
fucking like that.
They'll call you every slur,
or they'll just do that. Yeah, they'll just like flip you off and tell you to get the fuck out of here.
And you go to New York, and you have to. I mean, there's places like Punch that it operates in this kind of system. No, I'm saying it operates in a similar system to New York, where you have to. It's like the mob. You have to hang around
and get up if they like you. Okay.
You have to prove that you're there for the long haul. There's still that culture here because San Francisco is all New York expats.
Yeah, it is.
But
yeah, it's all transplants from New York. Yeah.
I mean, even just like old, because like the Punchline guys are like old school comics.
Yeah.
So there is still a vestige of that, but it comes with this like love for comedy, and I think a lot of the other markets, it's more has become a love for the career and a love for success. But I think because we're still I mean, at this point, we're a C market.
Yeah.
Because San Francisco has the Punchline and Cobb's, but those might as well be sovereign countries.
Yeah, those are hard. Yeah.
We're a C market to Sacramento.
Yeah.
And
totally.
Sacramento is a B market to LA.
Yeah, so it is ABC, yeah.
And it is and it's also behind 4 other B markets to LA.
Yeah.
So, and because the Sacramento comedy scene is great. Come see me at Laughs Unlimited
come
tomorrow
see the boy.
before this comes out.
Sacramento.
My Laughs Unlimited debut.
Fuck yeah.
But, and also, like, that whole roast battle scene is down in Sacramento. Go check it out.
Yeah, go check out a roast
Sacramento
battle.
Because roast battle also, it gave me a lift that showed me, okay, I'm not just going to be the Adam Ray guy.
Yeah, that you can have your own thing that you're good at.
Because I talk about it a lot, and I love telling people the story, because who wouldn't?
Yeah.
But that has nothing to do with him. Stand-up.
Yes, you're right.
Like, straight stand-up
for
me will always start with him.
Yeah.
And it will all that I'm gonna, because I mean, a million views later, I'm that guy.
Well, right.
But roast battle is a thing for me where that is a muscle that I get to flex that I didn't even know I had.
Yeah.
And I've discovered that if I'm in the midst of writing for a roast, I can't stop myself from roasting every single person around me in my daily life.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's all, and that's cool that you have.
And that's another
an
independence thing. It's another like self-determination, and I'm gonna do it for myself, and not necessarily by myself,
but for yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And it's something you can improve at and get better at. And like you said, it's separate from the whole Adam Ray thing. You can get good at this on your own merit. 100%.
Exactly. And also, a lot of people say with roast battle, and especially in the Bay Area, I've seen, it takes away from your stand-up. It gets a bad rap, and a lot of stand-up heavy comics have kind of stepped away from
scoffed at it. Yeah.
Not scoffed at it. They've participated.
And then they just don't.
They're stepping away from it.
Oh, interesting.
But for me, as someone who primarily and always has done, even like daily conversation, done self-deprecating
comedy
stuff.
Yeah.
Hearing what other people really think about me, or not really think, but giving me new angles. Like my first 5, and I've admitted this, and I don't do these jokes anymore.
Yeah.
But my first 5 was, I similar to the Adam Ray thing. Before that, or a little bit after that had happened, I made my parents go to a roast battle show with me at Cobb's.
Oh, no way.
And they do a segment at the end
Yeah.
where they're like, does an audience member want to come up and get roasted?
Yeah, you're like,
and I'm like,
do it.
Let's see what happens.
Fuck me up.
Yeah.
Light me up, fam.
Because I know, well, it's not even just like light me up and let's have fun, but I want to see the look. I wanted to see the look on their faces, because when I'm sitting down, I mean, maybe you could tell a little bit, but like,
when you stand
if I'm
up,
in a dark audience and then I get up, luckily Logan Farr was there that night judging, so it was kind of open season, so I was glad that they didn't have tight buttholes.
Yeah.
So after that, after the Adam Ray thing, I hit Josh Means back up, and I was like, I'd love to do this. So it is my whole of course it's a random set of events that occurred that are crazy, but also all the big people that have helped me along the way, it's all been out of the goodness of their heart.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
And because I have nothing to give them. And
Yeah,
I think
they're not gaining anything.
Comedy gets a really bad rap for being transactional.
Yes.
And people like taking advantage of comics. And I still hear stories that happen in the Bay Area of people taking advantage of young comics. There's certain things that need to be changed. But like, everybody that has helped me out has done so because either I reached out and was like, can I do this? And they were like, fuck it, let's see what happens.
Fuck yeah, that's comedy. I feel like, yeah.
Or they've hit me up and been like 2 days after the Adam Ray thing happened.
Yeah.
I set up an Instagram because I was like,
might as well.
This thing is going well. I should have a place to keep it. I guess I do stand up now. I guess I do stand up. Literally,
that's a dope
literally,
sentence.
I got home.
Such a dope sentence.
Literally,
I guess
I got home and I was like,
Mom,
I have to do this. So
I put myself into a corner.
I wake
here,
up
kinda.
from a DM from Damian Montez.
Wow. Yeah.
And I wake up to a DM from Damian Montez the day after. Do you know about Hella Funny? Do you know about this?
Oh,
do you know about...
That's awesome.
Not like, hey, great job at the Adam Ray thing. You're so funny. You should do stand-up. I'm a stand-up comedian. But like,
are
you aware of the resources available to you
right here
to get
right
this
in the
going?
City. Yeah.
He texted me that day.
Wow.
And somehow convinced me to go down to an alley in the Tenderloin where they were doing a block party show and do 5 minutes. That's my first bomb, right?
Were you nervous for that set?
I was losing my mind.
All day were you just like, what am I going to say?
He
Holy
gave me,
fuck.
I took a lift down there. He said, come here now.
Oh, this was...
Yeah.
Oh, this
He
is right
texted
in
me.
the moment.
Yeah.
Oh,
he was like,
fuck.
Are you
shit.
free right now?
You're like, yeah?
I had a book up there. Like,
no way. Oh,
so I
that's
went from
scary.
Punchline, first set ever.
Now you're
killing in front of a packed room with Adam Ray, no nerves, to like 14 people and 4 crackheads
in the Tenderloin
in
in
Fern
the TD.
Alley, in Fern Alley across the street from Maze.
Yeah.
Like where no one wanted to laugh at
hilarious.
disabled jokes because it's San Francisco. So
And you got to eat your dick
I'm
up there,
so
man.
happy that happened because now no one can tell me,
Yeah.
you know, you didn't cut your teeth, you didn't bomb your first time because everyone has the story of like,
Oh yeah.
I hate when people go around outside the function and like tell their first stand-up story because they're like, yeah, I bombed and some dude threw a drink at me and like,
Yeah.
I mean, first world problems. I'm sorry, but then I have to be the fucking dickhead that's like, actually,
I did decent.
I fucking went.
I killed.
Yeah, I killed. Fuck you.
That's funny. Because I mean, I did okay, but I always happy. I never 8 miled. I never got up there and was like, but I've seen people do it, and that sucks.
I haven't fully 8 miled, but I've like
forgotten
definitely.
your first joke. Oh, that's
no, I
terrifying.
never forget my first joke, but it's an order of the jokes for me.
Yeah.
It's like because if I tell one joke, I literally can't stop myself from transitioning into the joke that goes after that. I have to put actual effort in to rearranging my set so I get comfortable with the jokes individually rather than a habit.
Yeah.
And I don't write as much as I think regular comics do. I don't sit down I don't have everyone says I'm going to write every day. This year I'm going to write every day.
Yeah, I don't.
Right?
I write down what I think's funny sometimes.
No one writes every day, but what I'm saying is like I write a joke or two a month.
Yeah.
Right? What I focus on is I think this is the sports part of me.
Yeah.
Like I focus on the technical side of stand-up because that's what I can control.
Yeah.
I can't control what you find funny.
True.
Or what I find funny.
Exactly. Yeah.
I only know what I find funny. But if I can get my delivery funny,
if
I can get my tone of voice funny, if I can get my pacing and my beats,
you're right. Those are little things, that you can control.
That is so much more important than because, I mean, it's the like I'm way more afraid of the dude that's practiced one kick 5 million times instead of
5 million kicks. Yeah, that's the Bruce Lee quote. That's a great quote, actually.
And like, I think that for me personally, that really applies with stand-up because there's also people that just have all these thoughts in their head that they have to get out.
Yeah, for real.
And
100%.
As I started doing stand-up, it started to happen to me. And as I keep writing and hopefully turn this into a paying job where like actually it's my job to write jokes.
Yeah, true.
It will be a muscle that I can just turn on.
Yeah.
And write every day. But
for now,
now, like, also, I'm sitting behind 1 million views. I've been doing stand-up for 6 months. I don't have 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah, but you're getting there, yeah.
And I don't think anyone has 10 minutes after 6 months. I think they think they have 10 minutes.
You would, think. Yeah.
But I mean, I have 10, but like, you can't ask me to go do a real feature set. I have to work.
Yeah,
I have to work now so that
to get that
so
ready.
that I can capitalize on this momentum to get somewhere.
Yeah,
because I can't think of another career that would allow me to live life how I personally want to live it.
Yeah,
there's like, and I'm not saying it's comedy or bust because that's dangerous, but damn near, because like, there's nothing I would rather be doing.
And that's awesome that you have this avenue, and I'm getting there too. I mean, I would love to make this a full-time thing too, but that's like
that's everybody.
But that's also like why you can't cheat the grind. I love that you're, me and you are developing the 10 minutes.
Exactly.
Like all right. Well, we're gonna get into some MMA talk since this is a fighting and football podcast. But we're gonna talk about how you are friends with the UFC fighter Hyder Amile.
I mean, it's been a while. We're not like homies.
Right.
I don't see him on weekends, but I actually just for fitness and fitness. I trained at El Nino Training Center.
Shout out El Nino. Shout out the boys. Shout out Gilbert Melendez. Shout out Scrap Pack.
Whole thing.
Fucking badasses.
And I was first. My first trainer was a guy named Daniel, who is a Daniel Kim. He's been doing Muay Thai in the Bay forever. He's like part of the Wooden Man.
Yeah, I know all the Wooden Man guys. Yeah,
those dudes.
Or I know some people that train over there.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And they used to be a joint gym, El Nino and Wooden Man.
I could see that.
They used to be business partners, and then Wooden Man.
moved. Yeah. Fair enough.
But I had Daniel, and then Gilbert's cousin Balu was my trainer for 6 months. He runs some MMA promotions in Mexico and some pro wrestling, some lucha libre in Mexico now, or at least he used to. And he was super nice. He was one of my favorites. And then I split time between the Muay Thai guy and Hyder.
Yeah.
And this was when it was before Hyder's Bellator breakout. So it was actually right before.
Oh, no way.
So he had to stop training because I can't do group classes because I'm slow. So I did individual trainings. And so he had to drop me as a client for, he said
to go train.
He said a couple weeks
to go beat some dude's ass.
No, it was the Paradise fight.
Oh no! The dude from Dragon House.
So the second, I think it was his second Bellator fight, the one that got him on Contender Series.
Viral, on Contender Series. Wow, that's awesome.
So I was so mad. I was actually pissed off because it basically meant because he was the only one that really ever gave me a full training.
Yeah, would be really in depth with you.
Actually, it was because I'm still not aware of how stupid I look compared to the rest of those. Because it's like
me too. When I go box, I feel
it's what's her name? Oh, there's another. I know her. She's pretty famous. She was in the UFC.
Okay.
Female fighter out of Scrap Pack. What's her name? White lady.
I have her in my head. I don't know her name. Yeah.
This is really bad. We
were
MMA
friendly. Podcast.
I was 11 years old.
It's been a while.
And she was very nice to me. She was in UFC 3, and I was very excited.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, all those people. It's like real fighters and real people trying. I mean, Clark. Clark.
Yeah.
He was. All those people training around me, kind of. Doing my bag drills and They find exactly. They found ways to adapt for me, and so Hyder was the one that really had a full.
That's awesome.
Holistic.
Shout out Hyder Amile. Shout out
Hyder.
The man. This man had a 45-second knockout against a South Korean his first UFC opener. So
I think it wasn't that record. Something? I think it was
the record for amount of punches landed in under a minute.
You know what it was?
He beat the fuck out of
it was the Bellator fight that I was talking about.
He put up a record.
That was he has a.
Hyder Amile. My prediction for Hyder in 2025 is that he will be ranked by the end of the year. I say get him 3 or 4 fights. I think he's gonna beat the shit. I just think from analyzing
Dana likes him too.
Yeah. From analyzing his fight style too, he's a brawler. But also I've seen his grappling stuff where if you want to brawl with him,
we haven't seen it at all.
He has that in the cut, ready to go. So I think he's gonna be a real solid
I'm not
fighter.
comparing the two, but I'm just saying it's similar to I bet Pereira has some grappling.
Well, but he's going to force you to grapple him from his striking, so I can see that. Yeah, totally.
And, I mean, you can't be a scrap pack fighter and not be a killer on the mat. It's impossible.
Yeah. Even you were saying Gilbert Melendez is a super nice guy. Gilbert Melendez was a fucking savage.
Dude.
Watch Gilbert Melendez versus Diego Sanchez. Watch
Gilbert Melendez versus Clay Guida.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Fuck that shit.
Watch Gilbert Melendez versus Clay Guida. That shit is Strike Force Championship.
But it's crazy how these guys are so nice and they're savage.
Well, you have to be.
Yeah. That's
when your job is to beat the fuck out of people for a living, you have
are
to
a
be
nice guy. Yeah, you
right?
get it all out. You get all the energy out.
But yeah, that and that's what I liked so much is like that group of people and Scrap Pack and all those dudes were really accepting of me at a really young age.
That's
and I mean,
awesome.
it was a little bit, you know, I was psyching myself out. Like there was like a week where I was like, could I fucking be? Could I do this?
You're like flexing in the mirror with like MMA gloves. Like, can I do this right now, dude?
Yeah, I'm the new Zion.
Imagine wheelchair.
The dude with no
UFC.
legs.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He was a D1. He was a high school
wrestler.
State champion, and no, he's fighting MMA now.
I've seen
but
that. Yeah.
Come on, bro. You look like that Pokemon. You know what I'm talking about?
Someone's got to throw one up.
Exactly.
It's game over. But I mean, no, that's crazy, man. I always love, like, especially I've been a huge fan of local MMA, like Nick and Nate Diaz when we were young. Nick and Nate are some of my favorite fighters ever.
Honestly, I don't pay attention to fighting as much as I used to. But I mean, obviously I have a soft spot for Bay Area fighters, but I just think that, like, similar to comedy, it's a unique culture around fighting.
And we're not known for that. So it's harder to come out of, you know what I mean? If you're from Vegas and you want to fight, there's a million places you could